Magic Streetgrass Book Number 40, Eve of the Emperor Penguin by Mary Pope Osborne. Chapter 9, Penny and Merlin. Penny's head was sticking out of Jack's jacket. Jack and Annie were wearing their own clothes again. Their jeans, jackets, hats, and scarves. All their heavy cold weather gear for Antarctica was gone. "We're in Camelot," said Annie, looking out the window. Jack took Penny out of his jacket and hauled her up to the window so she could see the grounds of King Arthur's castle. The tree has a landing in the apple tree in an orchard. In the near distance, castle towers rose into a late afternoon sky. Several knights on horses were riding away from the castle. "Jack, Annie!" Teddy and Catherine were running through the orchard, between the trees over fallen golden leaves and apples. Jack and Annie waved at them. "Oh, I just thought of something," said Jack. "I forgot to find out the fourth secret." "What do you mean?" said Annie. "It's Penny." "No, I don't think so," said Jack. "Remember Leonardo da Vinci told a secret of happiness that has been available to everyone? Not many people could have their own baby penguin." "All right," said Annie. "Jack, Annie, come down." Ted Catherine called from below. "We're coming," said Annie. Jack put Penny inside his jacket and carefully climbed down the rope ladder after Annie. "Oh, what did you bring back with you?" said Catherine. Penny was peeking out from Jack's jacket again. "A baby penguin for Merlin," said Annie. "Look at her," said Catherine. "She's beautiful." "Indeed," said Teddy, patting Penny's downy head. "Peep, she wants to help Merlin," said Annie. "Then let us hurry at him at once," said Teddy. "Come, follow us." Catherine and Teddy led the way between the trees to a small wooden cottage at the edge of the orchard. "Merlin is in there?" said Jack. "That's a garden house he always loved as a child," said Teddy. "Morgan said he'll find comfort there, but alas, he seemed to have found nothing but more grief. He'll eat nothing and he has not spoken for days." Teddy opened the door to the cottage and ushered Annie and Jack inside. Morgan was sitting by Merlin's bed. Late afternoon light slanted through the window onto the magician's face. He lay very still. His eyes were closed and his hands were folded in his chest. A chill went through Jack. Merlin hardly looked alive. Morgan turned around. She too looked tired. Her face brightened when she saw Jack and Annie. "Thank goodness you have come," she said. Annie crossed the room and hugged Morgan. Jack's throat was pain. "Like what we bought from Merlin," he whispered. "Oh," said Morgan. The enchantress gently touched the little penguin. "She is lovely indeed," she whispered. "Thank you for bringing her." Morgan turned back to Merlin. "Merlin," she said, "Jack and Annie from Frogwick are here. They want to talk with you." I stepped forward. Where Jack stood in the shadows was Penny. "Hi, Merlin," said Annie. "How are you doing?" The magician still opened his eyes, but he nodded to let Annie know he heard her. "We have 4 secrets of happiness to share with you," said Annie. She reached into Jack's backpack. She pulled out a poem that the poet Basho had given them on a trip to old Japan. "Listen, here's a poem from a man named Basho," said Annie. She read the short poem. An old poem, a frog jumps in. The sound of water. The secret of happiness for Basho was that he paid attention to small things in nature, explained Annie. Merlin nods no. "Nature," he said in a raspy voice. "That's right," said Annie. "And we brought you this too." She pulled out an angel picture Leonardo da Vinci had drawn. She held it up to show Merlin. "This is an angel drawn by a great genius named Leonardo da Vinci," said Annie. Merlin opened his eyes and peered at the drawing. "Isn't she beautiful?" said Annie. The secret of Leonardo's happiness was that he had great curiosity about everything: angels, art, noses, feathers, flowers, flying. Every day he felt happy when he learned something new. And Merlin nodded as he stared at the angel's sketch. "Curiosity," he breathed. "Yes, and here's the third secret," said Annie. She reached into Jack's pack and pulled out the natural shell they'd been given on their trip to the deep ocean. "A sea creature once lived inside this shell," said Annie. We learned from the ocean scientists that the secret of happiness is having compassion for all living things, from a tiny shell creature to a giant octopus. Martin took the shell from Annie. He could be sent around the close side. His face softened. Compassion, he said, but still he didn't smile. Jack sighed. Maybe Merlin isn't going to get better, he said. Give him Penny now, Jack, whispered Annie. Jack stepped out from the shadow. Merlin, he said, we don't actually know what the first secret of happiness is, but we want to give you something else. Merlin looked at Jack. Jack called up the tiny penguin. Her name is Penny, he said. Merlin just stared at Penny. He looked confused. She's an orphan, said Jack. Her parents were lost in a terrible storm. Merlin frowned. She is very small, he said hoarsely. Yes, and she wants to live with you, said Annie. The Emperor of the Cave of Ancient Crown wants you to take care of her, said Jack. He says she's very brave and full of joy. Jack sat down on the floor. Then alone, the penguin looked tiny and fragile. Go to Merlin, Jack argued Penny. Penny waddled across the floor to Merlin. Her little body rocked stiffly from side to side as she held her wings to keep her balance. Penny stopped in front of Merlin. The little penguin and the old magician stared at each other for a moment. Merlin's expression didn't change. Peep, said Penny. Peep, peep. Merlin's face twitched. Then he began to laugh. At first his laughter seemed more like coughing than laughing, as if he hadn't laughed in a long time. But then his laughter grew louder. He stood up and scooped the baby penguin into his arms. Merlin hugged Penny to his chest, pressing her against his long white beard. His face settled into a warm smile. This is your destiny to kill for her, Merlin, said Morgan, the Emperor of the Cave of the Ancient Crown, and sent her to you. He is very wise. Merlin nodded, and cradling Penny in his arms, he walked to the doorway of the cottage and looked out. The air smells like ripe apples and wood smoke today, he said. Yes, my old friend, it does, said Morgan. She wiped tears from her eyes. Merlin turned back and looked at Jack and Annie. Thank you for bringing... What did you say her name was? Penny, said Annie. Ah, yes, Penny, to me, said Merlin. And thank you for other gifts as well. I will never forget the secrets you have shared with me. You're welcome, said Jack and Annie. Peep. Yes, yes, Merlin murmured to the baby penguin. You will stay with me and we will have a happy time together. Let's go into the orchard and I will show the rising moon. Merlin put Penny down onto the ground. The baby penguin took tiny quick steps alongside the magician as they walked into the orchard. The two strolled together between the trees and a round moon rose over the kingdom of Camelot.